webinar. My name is Stacy Jackson. I'm the marketing manager here at Answer Systems. Each month we look for interesting content to share, and I need to turn off my email, sorry about that. Interesting content to share with our clients and other industry professionals on topics that can affect trade promotion deals between trading partners. Today's Getting SKU Rationalization Right webinar, led by Dave DeWalt of Franklin Food Service Solutions, does just that. Before I hand over the show to Dave, let's just run through a few quick tips to familiarize you with the GoToWebinar technology. If you'll notice in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, there's a panel there, and you can use that little orange arrow to minimize and maximize that panel. Within the panel, you'll see a place to enter questions that you may have during the course of the webinar. We will pause a few times during the presentation for your questions and take time again at the end. At the end of our presentation, we'd like you to take a few minutes to give us feedback on today's presentation. Let us know what you might like to see in the future. So now I'll take a few minutes and just tell you a little bit about Dave before I give Dave the presentation. Dave is a 22-year veteran of the food service industry, and he's worked with the likes of Sara Lee Bakery and Classic Foods. In 1996, Dave launched Franklin Food Service Solutions to serve the food industry clients on a variety of strategic, marketing, and distribution-related projects. In addition to his work at Franklin Food Service Solutions, Dave has written and published several works, including his book, Understanding Food Service Redistribution. Currently, he is writing a book about the food service supply chain and interactions among manufacturers, distributors, and operators and brokers. Without further delay, I would like to introduce you all to Dave DeWalt. Dave, I'm going to move the screen now.
Okay, thanks, Stacy. I appreciate it, and Sean. And I really appreciate everybody making some time today to join in this session. One thing that I found, and probably the reason a lot of you are here, is that this issue of SKU rationalization and managing the product line is really a universal issue. Anybody that's in the manufacturing and distribution business, really regardless of industry, deals with this. And I've talked to a lot of people in a lot of different industries and got a lot of input, and this is a problem that really plagues every kind of a business. So hopefully you'll gain some new knowledge, some new thinking as we go through this, and we'll have plenty of time for questions and answers at the end. You know, in my experience, these SKU rationalization projects usually start out something like this. They're usually initiated by the folks in the operations and supply chain area, and they get frustrated over time with the buildup of just trying to manage a bloated or an overly large product line and all the problems that causes them. And at some point, they just get to where they're ready to take the meat axe approach to trimming that product line. So they usually ambush the poor VP of Sales and Marketing and very strong comments about what needs to be done to trim that product line. And, you know, of course, these folks aren't really all that concerned with marketing consequences of trimming that product line. So typically, marketing and sales, perceiving an attack on their territory, they immediately go into defense mode. And I think most of you would agree, and certainly my experience is that salespeople can make a pretty strong case for every product in the line, no matter how low the volume or margin. There's always a customer who's going to go away altogether if you lose this pet product. And of course, all the time these discussions are going on, marketing's always lurking outside the door, ready to throw another pile of products against the wall to see what sticks. And as a result, everybody goes round and round. Marketing and sales are so focused on volume, the last thing they want to hear is we've got to cut products and give up some sales. And so they keep adding products without regard to the operational and financial consequences. So again, just to tell you a little bit where I'm coming from, I've been in and around the food service, manufacturing, and distribution business for over 30 years. My company helps food service manufacturers build profitability by understanding these issues around supply chain realities and the link that they have to sales and marketing decisions. I think most of you would agree that supply chain and operations folks kind of move in their own circles and speak their own language, and certainly sales and marketing people are off in their own world, their own version of the real world, and speaking their own language. To the extent that we can get the two organizations to better understand one another, we're usually able to improve the bottom line. A quick plug, we do publish a monthly food service marketing insights newsletter. I know a lot of the folks on this call have been subscribers for a long time. Thank you for that. The rest of you, if you're interested in looking into that, you can hit my website later on, and we'd love to have you as subscribers. The other thing I'll just mention, we'll talk more about this at the end, but we do have a food service supply chain share group going, and some of you folks might be interested in looking into becoming a member of that. We'll talk about that at the end. So before we go on, it's important for you to note that what you're about to see is a result of many years of experience that I've had in dealing with these issues, both when I worked for manufacturers and more recently working with manufacturers on a consulting basis. And I'll, full disclosure, my background is as a food service sales and marketing guy, so I certainly have lived that world of, more products is better. But I've also worked for the last 15 years very much on the supply chain and operations side, so I've come to understand the world from that perspective as well. And over the last several years, I've developed this methodology that I'm going to show you, and in fact, I'm about halfway through the process of developing a piece of software which will support this methodology. We'll talk more about that with the Answer Systems folks at the end. Finally, I am looking for your thoughts and input once you've seen this and gone away and thought about it. I will welcome any and all comments, positive, negative, questions, comments, to help us shape what you've seen today. So we'll talk a little bit about why most SKU rationalization projects fail to deliver, why people don't get the results they hope for when they go into these projects. We'll make the case for doing it right, and then we'll really delve into my 4-step process for what I call product line optimization. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And again, we'll have time for questions and feedback. Why is it that most people have a hard time successfully implementing SKU rationalization projects? I think the biggest reason personally is that the pain of having too many products and a difficult to manage product line is felt in operations and supply chain. But the cure rests in marketing and sales, which in most organizations, these are the folks that really have the responsibility for deciding what the product line should look like. And the reality is, sales and marketing guys and ladies don't get a bonus for making plants and warehouses run more efficiently. So it's pretty obvious when you think about it why there's usually this tension and why this difficulty in ever resolving these issues. Secondly, even if everyone's aware of the problem caused by having too many products, and let's face it, sales and marketing people do kind of get that this is a problem, the trouble is the benefits of dropping products are usually not clear on the P&L. It's very hard to quantify and show what the financial benefits are going to be of trimming the product line. But it's very easy to point to the volume that even low sales products are contributing, and it's very easy to see that volume going away. Third reason these projects are difficult, there's just sort of a natural distrust of the numbers, especially when they're developed by one department and presented to another. So again, as a marketing and sales guy, I can say that when operations comes and says, too many SKUs are really causing us problems, and I can't get my lift trucks down the aisle, and it's no wonder we're cutting products. You've got such a product line that we can't schedule it and manage inventories. A lot of it just sounds like complaining. And, vice versa. When marketing and sales come back and talk about, why we can't cut this and why we got to have that and what the risks are of taking these moves, there's usually some skepticism on the part of the operations and finance folks. So, again, living in different worlds, not really understanding the other guy's world, and maybe just being a little bit cynical about the stories we hear from the other side. And then gathering input, analyzing the problem, developing and implementing a solution, it's a very time-consuming process, and it cuts across functional lines. So it's hard